that's sustainable, that is our day-to-day, that is what we can do on a day-to-day basis. So today, okay, today we're going to share about healthy aging. So any of you, if you are concerned about aging, you can put it in the chat, all right? If you're concerned that, aging is one of the issues, not just perhaps for ourselves, when we see our parents, our elderly, and do we wish, do you wish that you could do differently compared to some of your elderly that you've seen, right? And if you are thinking about that, do we have a solution? So this is exactly what we want to discuss today, this evening. And in fact, it's a 2-week event because it's quite a lot to share actually. I'm learning at the same time. And I really think that, there's a lot more that I could share as well. All right. So today's setting is a bit different. You can turn away the window, right? And then you can just see the slides. Okay, so from here, it's going to be a 2-week event, and let's start. First of all, this is Singapore numbers. I think many of us know about this, and we are pretty proud of it that Singapore is actually one of the longest, has the one of the longest lifespan in the world, right? But having said that, longest lifespan doesn't mean longest health span. So if you see from here, while average lifespan is 85 years old in in Singapore, there are 74 years of average health span, meaning there's about 11 years the elderly actually live in illness, whether physically they are not well, bedridden, not able to move as they wish, or mentally not fit. So that is a good 11 years, which is more than 10% of our life. Think about that. All right. And this is the Malaysia number. For Malaysia, expected lifespan is 75 years old, when health span is only 65.7. So there's a 9.4 years with illness as well. So these two countries, I think we are really very closely linked to each other in terms of our diet, our lifestyle, and all this. That may be the reason why the ending towards the end of life um, is similar. It's also very similar. So I'm sure you've seen people around you, perhaps the elderly, the auntie, uncles, or the grandparents that experience lack of health. They still have their life, they're still alive, but their life is not 100% because of the health span, right? So once upon a time, it looks like this. So assuming this is our health span, right? This is our health span, and then on below here is our lifespan. So it will just deteriorate like this. That is with no intervention. People will just slowly degrade and then die. But with medicine 2.0, which is what is happening now, doctors, medical field, they are very advanced in trying to prolong our lifespan. Right? So we have AED, we have resurrection. There are many medicines that can help us to keep our heart beating, to keep us alive, even though mentally we might not be sound, even though we might need to be on many medications just to control the blood sugar, cholesterol, put on dialysis just to do the cleansing of the system, help the body to detox so that the person can live longer. But in terms of health span, so far we don't really see modern medication actually help us to reverse or increase the health span. Right? A very simple example would be, for example, bone loss. Many elderly actually suffer from bone loss, but I'm not sure if you've really seen anyone. If you have, do share that after taking some shots, because for severe bone loss, doctor will usually prescribe either calcium medications or stronger medications to maintain bone health. Not sure if you've seen anyone that managed to reverse, you know, in fact, really increase the bone density and able to do a lot more than they could before in terms of medication, right? Usually it doesn't happen. So this is just to prolong the life, but may not be able to prolong the health, right? So what we want here, following Dr. Peter's Attia's sharing, is we want to try to square our longevity curve, meaning we don't want it to curve down like that. We want it to stay at the optimal as much as we can, as much as we can, and then drop down like this, right? That means we have a lot more health span. All this area below the line is our healthy living. We could still live healthily, right? If this happened. So is this also what you want? Okay? Or we admit defeat. We know that it's going to be like this. By 30, 35 years old, we're at our peak, and then it will just go downhill. Continuous decline, decline. For ladies, usually we see a big decline here. That's about 45 to 55 during menopause. And then usually 60 to 70, that's another big 断崖式衰老 we call, right? That's another big decline, and so on and so forth. Is this what we want? Right? So that's the question. So scientists, when doing research on longevity, on aging, they realize that aging actually starts from the cells. Cells are the fundamentals of our body, right? Our whole body is made up of cells. So when the cells start to age, that's when it affects our organs, our system, and then it will affect us. Give me. Okay, so this is how it is. By the time we feel that that's aging already, right? It's already starting from many, many years ago. It doesn't start from just now, like from just the first wrinkles. That's when we start aging. No, it's not actually. All right. So is your body showing any of this sign or not? So some of the friends will tell me that, as we age, start to have damaged hair, losing hair. I definitely start to have gray hair at 30, 40 plus, right? Cognitive impairment, poor memory, sometimes just starting to forget things a bit more, not sure, of, like a friend was telling me, he walked out of the room knowing that he wants to do something, but by the time he's in the living room, he forgot already, right? And then cardiovascular issues, kidney, liver, low immunity, or gastrointestinal discomfort, loss of bone density and muscle mass. We've seen a lot of elderly, they became so frail and weak, not able to balance themselves properly. And some very young people, like 30, 40, start to have sleeping disorder, waking up a lot, get tired easily, poor metabolism, vision deterioration, etc., etc. Do you see anyone around you experiencing this? So these are signs of aging, but these are signs of aging that's already external, right? We find that we can see it externally already. So it depends on what you believe actually. Different school of thoughts, what we can see is from the outside. Okay, I see wrinkles. Okay, I see wrinkles. That's from the outside. But inside might have a lot more aging already. The cells, might have aging a lot more before it showed outside. Okay, so scientists has put in the research and realized that we really need to understand from inside out, understand the cells, understand how the cells actually age, because cell is the fundamental, the basic, the smallest denominator in our whole body, right? So rules of aging, this is from one of the top journal, which is called Cell in 2023. They published this article to list down all the 12 hallmarks of aging, hallmarks of cellular aging, in fact. So what does it mean by hallmark of aging, right? How to qualify as one of the hallmark? Number one, it has to be age associated, meaning it must get worse with age. Okay, so if most people, if when these people age, they have this issue, then yes, this could be a hallmark. But there are three things that they have to fulfill, three premises. Number two, the acceleration of age by experimentally accentuated them, meaning making it worse artificially must accelerate aging, right? So if we actually use, in experiment setting, make it worse, actually it shows more aging, right? And fixing it needs to slow down or reverse aging. It must be able to be fixed. There must be the opportunity to be fixed and to control. It's not something that's not controllable. So to meet these three criteria, after long range of research, there are 12 hallmarks of aging. So are these final? Is this carved in stone? No, of course it's not. The science is still evolving. We are still all learning. In fact, the first paper was actually published in 2013. In 2013, they only list out 9 hallmarks of aging. And the second update after some 10 years later, sorry, it's 2023, they put in 3 additional hallmarks. So altogether, we have this very nice picture of the 12 things that can cause cellular aging. And it's divided into 3 large areas. Number one is the cellular structure, the structure of the cell. Okay, number two is the cellular function, the functions of the cell. And number three is the cellular environment, the environment where the cells are living in and communicating with other cells. So these are the 3 major areas. In doing this research, right, I really are actually very interested to learn more about these different hallmarks. So I dive, a bit deeper into it. I'm not sure if you have enough time to talk about it today, but we can definitely talk more next week if you're interested. Because these are really very interesting things that the scientists are doing. First of all, the cellular structure. Cellular structure, you can look at the cell as a factory, right? So if there's a factory, the structure will be the door, the pillars, the windows, these are the structure. Okay, when a structure is not right, that means the factory will not be able to function properly, correct? Properly. So the structure, for example, there are 5 hallmarks under structure. Okay, so these are the 5. I go through with you quickly. Number 1 is genomic instability. So it's our DNA. Our DNA is damaged by toxic sunlight, stress, everything, every day. And it will get more and more unstable as we age. This one got no choice one. That's why if we live long enough, right, the chance of our cells being mutated, meaning the cancer chance will get higher as we age. Okay, because the DNA damage keep adding up as we age. All right, that's one. And secondly, telomere attrition. So those who study bio, my girl is doing bio, so she knows what is the telomere. Telomere is actually our chromosome looks like this, like an X, right? So at the 4 ends of this X like this, right? At the 4 ends, there is a tip which is called telomere. Okay, so this telomere is actually to protect the chromosomes. And as we age, as it keep duplicated, right, this telomere will get shorter and shorter until a point that it cannot be replicated anymore. So this is the cell structure problem, right? The cellular structure issues. It gets shorter and shorter, and eventually it doesn't work anymore. And number 3, epigenetic alteration. Okay, if our cells is the hardware, epigenetic is the software that what we feed to our cells to run the cells. Okay, and epigenetic, the environment, the stress, the sunlight and all that could alter the structure of our cells as well. Okay, so that make running the cells less efficient. Loss of proteostasis. Proteostasis is a way that our cells actually clean up the protein, clean up the excess protein and recycle the excess protein. And as we age, the ability to do that could also reduce as well. And number 5 is the disabled macroautophagy. Okay, again, autophagy is our cells recycle program. We know that, if we do fasting long enough, our body will actually clean up the old cells and eat up the unwanted cells. So this program will also slow down as we age. So these are the 5 hallmarks of aging, and that would be the structure. Secondly, it talks about the function. Cellular function can also be affected as well. So how? What is the cell supposed to do? So it depends on where the cells are, right? A heart cell is supposed to do what it is. A hair cell is supposed to do what they are. But when the cell is lack of energy, is low in energy, it will not function as well as it's supposed to be. right? And there are three reasons. Number one is the deregulated nutrient sensing, meaning the body is not as good at sensing the fuel anymore. For example, mTOR. mTOR is a process that the cells actually build. For example, the body actually build muscle cells. But as we age, we need even more protein to trigger mTOR. For example, insulin. As we age, our insulin pathway become less sensitive. The cells is less sensitive to insulin. Although insulin is supposed to be the door, the key, knock knock for the food to come in, right? But it will get less sensitive. That is what it means, right? Mitochondrial dysfunction. This is a core hallmark, meaning the mitochondria, which is the power plant of the cell, not able to be as efficient anymore, cannot generate the energy for the cell to function. So cell function is affected. And cellular senescence, zombie cells take over. The cells are not doing what they're supposed to be. They're just being zombie and just stay there and do nothing. So when you have more and more of these zombie cells or idle cells, the function, when more and more of these are accumulated, the function, the organs will be affected. So this is the cellular function damage. And last but not least, all the cells are staying in an environment, right? Their external environment that is actually surrounding the cells. So that could give us issues as well. And this major one is actually inflammation. Inflammation in the body, like fatty liver, atherosclerosis, osteoarthritis, lung inflammation, all this affect the environment that the cell is living in. When the body is under a lot of um, inflammation, right? It will cause stem cell exhaustion, meaning our repair crew stem cell is what our body is able to repair itself. It becomes out of steam. It becomes lack energy, not able to repair anymore, right? Intercellular communication, the signals get scrambled. As we age, for example, the cells, the communications between cells actually get weaker and not able to connect as well. Then we talk about this chronic inflammation, which is a silent fire in the body that, of course, is burning and is hurting the cell. Very interestingly, I saw this is a new one actually, is dysbiosis. So if you are in our community for a while, for the last 2, 3 years, we keep talking about our gut health. And dysbiosis is specifically addressing the gut bacteria went crazy, went havoc, right? And the bacteria from the dysbiosis from our gut can actually enter into our body, break through our brain blood, barrier, and cause a lot of inflammation in our body. Okay, so these are the 12 hallmarks. Okay, these are the 12 hallmarks. But what can address these 12 hallmarks? Before this talk, I already received some questions already. Some people ask me about NMN, other products, resveratrol. Can they help with anti-aging or not? I'm going to talk about that later, okay? So please stay on. We're going to discuss about that later. So scientifically proven to effectively active cellular vitality. What can help? Go back to the basics, right? Still going back to the basics. So what we learn from our scientists is that plant food can always help the body to address all this. We are supposed to take at least half of our meals, all the 3 meals, right, made out of plants. No, in fact, more than that, lah. Grains is also plants, isn't it? But a lot of vegetables will definitely be something that help. All right. So, but if you are looking at the dietary intake versus the target, the green line here is the target, right? The white one, the Singapore, and the yellow one is a Malaysian diet. So I'm quite surprised that actually Singapore people eat so much more red meat. Is that why, heart disease is one of the highest? Heart disease is the highest cause of death in Singapore, right? And interestingly, Malaysian eats so much fish, so much more fish. But regardless, for legumes, vegetables, and fruits, all of us are not meeting the target, right? 300 grams of vegetables and 200 grams of fruits. Quite a lot, actually, right? So while we are doing all this, and of course, our lifestyle doesn't help, right? But if we see that our parents are getting elderly, the grandma and all are getting older and more frail, they I'm quite sure that they used to be more active than compared to us, right? And we are not eating so well because there's so much processed food, red meat and all that. Plus, we are not as active as them. What make us think that as we age, yes, we can live longer and we can also live healthier? So when I do consultation, when I talk to many of my clients, it gets very strange because they are confident that they can just live on natural diet, right? Some actually say that I don't really need supplements. I can just eat a normal diet, balanced diet, and healthy diet. That's good enough. Some not even willing to take up, the lightest form of exercise to really maintain our health, right? So in LiCo Wellness, we really believe that these are all the important things that we need to do, right? If you really can't get enough vegetables and fruits through the daily diet, let's find some ways. Okay, that's why we do vegetable blend. We talk about gut health, and all these supplements to help to meet the gap. It's really to help to fill the gap so that we can still maintain our health longer. Okay, so many research has shown that botanicals, phytonutrients are actually good for our health, actually helps to bring down inflammation, for example, right? Ellagic acid, garlic acid has got anti-aging effect. Rutin, quercetin can bring down the senescent cell, can reduce the zombie cell. The allergic acid can improve the mitochondrial health, etc., etc. There are many, many research shows that plants can help with mitochondrial function, protect and repair DNA, reduce inflammation, and so on and so forth. Right? But there are so many plants. So how? What plant should we take? So some friends very cute, they swear by certain things. So for example, celery. They believe in celery and everyday celery juice. Celery, celery, celery. But we know that nutrients, all the different plants has got different nutrients. Right? How do we bring them together to come out with the best concoction to help with our health? So in order to do that, Nutrilite in China actually has got its own intelligent botanical system. In Chinese, we call it 神农智慧系统. It's an AI system to harness the power of plants. So in this system, it studies more than 600 plants and 50,000 phytonutrients. So imagine if it's without the system, it is almost impossible to do all this, learning all these different combinations, like how much quantity to put, what is the combination that gives us the best effect in terms of anti-aging to address all the hallmarks of aging. So I remember the first time when I visited our Wuxi Botanical Research Center, that was in 2017. That was almost 8 years ago, right? And at that time, they were already researching on this one of the 9大, they call it 9大仙草, top 9 botanical plants in China based on the TCM learning, which is called 石斛. Okay, Shihu is a Chinese traditional medication. That time in 2017, the scientists was already telling us that they found some interesting research under this Shihu and Shihu Hua, and they are doing research. That was 8 years ago, and only 2 years ago, this product was out in the market. So imagine the 6 years of research went through, to really understand the different plants, to put all this together, and finally we come with the world first exclusive systematic database, and using this highly precision algorithm, we come up with this powerful 5 plants. So this is the one. Dendrobium orchid is the 石斛兰, looks like an orchid, and the active ingredients is actually rutin. So the system also came out or pair up with all these other plants, which is pagoda tree flowers for the quercetin and rutin, gooseberry, which is a very common or popular plant for Ayurvedic. Ayurvedic actually use them quite a bit. Gooseberry for the allergic acid and garlic acid. Pomegranate, we know that pomegranate is a very good fruit, again for the allergic and garlic acid. And chokeberry, okay, for cyanidin and this one, 3-O-galactoside. So these are all the active ingredients from all these 5 plants. And when the scientists put them together, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they address all the 12 hallmark of aging, from, to stabilize our DNA for it to be more stable, to help with our telomere attrition so that our chromosomes end doesn't get shorter, and etc. etc. So no one plant can do everything, but when we all comes together, it is a very um, powerful group of plants that can address all these 12 hallmarks. Okay, so this is how interesting this product is. And the product is rolled out for 2 years already for Hong Kong and China market, received a lot of good feedback. And we recently just introduced this in Malaysia and Singapore a couple of months ago. And already we have a lot of good feedback from here. So what does it do actually? So when we learn from the training, right, we know that the double helix structure of DNA looks like this. And if it's attacked, if it is unwell, the DNA got attacked, right? It actually get a lot of damage and it breaks apart. As it moves around, it actually breaks apart. So what M-Cell, this product, these 5 plants concentrates go in, is to be able to maintain the normal DNA, to make it, to protect the DNA. Okay, this is looking at the structure, right? Cellular structure. Remember 3 things: structure, function, and environment, right? This is looking at the structure. It protects the DNA, prevents it from being damaged. How about DNA that already damaged? So in the experiment, they also do normal DNA, and they actually put in something to damage the DNA, and put in our plants concentrates. The experimental group, in 24 hours, the DNA got repaired and even better than before. Okay, so it effectively repair our damaged DNA. And this one is talk about cellular function. We know that if mitochondria doesn't have the energy, the cell function cannot work very well. So this one, using the fluorescent dye, if there is more activity, that means if the cell mitochondria is more active, it will turn red, right? The color will turn into red. So you can see that the experimental group, in just 2 days, 48 hours, a lot more red color lighting up, meaning the mitochondria gets a bit more activated and the cell function is actually being improved. The cell has got more energy. Okay, so interesting, right? And this one, the third one, is talking about the microenvironment already. We are talking about inflammation, right? So gallic acid and rutin effectively reduce inflammation in just 7 hours, able to reduce inflammation by 28 and 36%. That's why some clients or some friends actually see very good result in a very short term. 1 day, 2 days, they could see some result already if it's heavily inflamed. The body is heavily inflamed, right? And then this is another one, 6 day. Aging cells reduced by 16% in just 6 days. So these are all the results. This one combining all the 3 things ready, because it look at aging cells, it look at the structure, function, and also the environment, all the things. And this is another one, reduce the ratio of aging cells. So these darker cells, the blurry darker cells, are the aging cells. So in 3 days time, the aging cells from 16% is actually down to 8%. Okay, fewer aging cells in the body. So if the cells has got less aging cells, more youth, with a lot of youth and vitality, we will have the youth and vitality as well in our body. All right, so based on customers' feedback, in 90 days, 20% improvement in skin around the eyes, okay, and also reduction of appearance of enlarged pores. This is the skin, right? I think the very interesting thing about this plant's concentrate is that it will take care of the most important thing first. The body will just use it for the most important thing first. That's why I think the skin, the hair, and all that are just peripherals, are just the residual, then we go and repair the outside, right? I'm sure the body know where to distribute the goodness. So this one, in 90 days, 86 say their sleep quality become better. They could sleep deeper, they could get more rested sleep, and they wake up more energetic. I think that's very important because through my consultation, we also find that many people have issues with their sleep. Some say that, they twisting and twist and toss, they can't, they're tossing around, they can't sleep very well, or some wake up in the middle of the night and can't sleep back very quickly. So these are all the issues that this item can address, right? So what it does is that it addresses all the 12 hallmarks of aging. It's a patented exclusive phytonutrients compound. It's just plant-based, just the power of the nature, power of plants, but with heavy science and research to find the best ones, right? To put them together. And thanks to our intelligent botanical system to be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, so we learn from the person who's behind this product himself, Dr. Charles Hu from China. He is a principal researcher or research scientist in MV Global. So he was part of the research team for doing this. And when we launched the product, we had a chance to learn from him personally to really understand the concept behind this product, to really understand the product before we actually get them and use them. Okay, so after using them, this is the time to share some of the testimonials, right? So some of you are here as well. You can also share how you feel after using it. I find that for myself, right, the lines get lighter. This is the before and this is the after. Sorry about the lighting. I'm not very good at controlling the lighting, but I can feel that the pores um not as not as serious, not as big, and then the fine lines as well. Okay, and if you compare this small line, right, fine lines, all this will actually we see some improvement as well in terms of skin. But of course, skin is really not what I'm after. It's the internal healing that is more important, right? The cellular healing. So of course, we have Liz. Okay, so for her, she was sharing her experience, testimonial about her hair growth. So you can see that from July to November, that's after 3 months, right? A lot of baby hair grown. So losing hair is one of the way that we feel that we are older. Of course, we also look older with less hair, isn't it? So definitely a fuller, a nicer hair would be very nice, would be very good. And then of course there are a lot of other testimonial in terms of skin health got improved. As you can see here, you might not be able to can't quite tell, exactly what, but she just looked younger, right? A lot younger. This is the case of eczema. Um, Sun Cheong Dager has been having this issue since during his teens, for more than 30 years actually. And just with from July, 3 weeks, right? Almost healed already. You can see that the feet almost got healed because this was just very good at addressing the inflammation, right? This is another testimonial example of injury. Obviously fell and hurt himself. So um, with protein and M-cell, managed to recover very well. Of course, also credit has to give to our Alano lotion as well. Any burn or any skin issue, Alano lotion is always something very good to help. So that helps as well. So this is what we want to do. I've got a lot more testimonials which I'm going to share with you next week. So let's talk about what we can do first. This is what we want to do. At the beginning of the talk, we will say that we want to square out the curve, right? We want to square our longevity curve. We not just want our life to stay longer, but we want our health span to stay at the top level longer. So the question that I often get is that when should I start taking care about my cells. When do I start to do anti-aging? Of course, the best time is always now, right? If you are here now, you want to start now? Or wait lah. Okay, wait until I'm older. When I'm here, then I start. Right? Remember, reverse aging is a different thing. What we want to do is to give the cells a good nutrients so that it can maintain its structure, it can maintain its function, and it has a good environment to live in so that it can continue to work for us for as long as we live. So if you can start here, please don't wait and just start here. All right. But of course, for MCell, we see many good results with our parents. Yeah, I should show my mom's picture next week. Okay, next week. I must remember to share with you my mom's picture. The hair, she no longer complain about the hair, having like little hair, very hard to set, etc. And my dad as well, in terms of vitality and in terms of look, they really I think we can see much more uh, clearer, faster, or more 明显, more results in them, right? They can really see the difference in them. So this is what we want to up to. So if any of your friends, family members ask you when is the time to start, now is always the best time to start. Don't wait till you are 50, 60, 70 years old. Then we talk about anti-aging. Right? Just like many of my friends, when I ask them to go and run, to go and exercise with me, they always say, no time lah. Wait until I retire, then I will start running. Where are you when you retire? What makes you think that you can just from here you can just go and run, after you retire? Today is always the youngest time of your life for the rest of your life. So let's start doing something now. But of course, um, I'm not saying that, MCell is the only way to go. You don't have to do anything else and only drink MCell. It doesn't work that way. But that definitely gives us a very good start. With that, we can put in, of course, a lot more, which I'll be talking about it next week. We want to put in the diet, the lifestyle, the exercise, and all this to maintain our health, to maintain our health span. All right, so that's what we can do as well. So for MCell, for these products, if you have not tried, ask the person who brought you in. We just have a batch of products coming in because the stocks are actually pretty limited and it's still under quota. We still have to fight to get the products. But if you like to try, okay, we know that cellular aging is actually invisible. Don't wait till you see something in the structure or how you feel and all that before you start um, talking about healthy aging. You could always start now. And of course, tailor to your different needs. Depends on what is your concern. We can always cater the programs or cater the approach to what is your main concern, right? It could be you want to address the tree highs, you want to address the body fats, you just want to be healthier, you want to start running, join, whatever it is, you could always be personalized and of course be comprehensive as well. Okay, cellular anti-aging definitely need healthy lifestyle. There's no magic potion. I hope, I wish I could just tell you that this is a magic potion, just drink this and you don't have to do anything else, but no, um, health, and wellness is a lifestyle. Lifestyle. All right. Wellness is a lifestyle. So this will be the approach that we'll be talking about. And next week, I'll be sharing with you more about all the other proactive daily habits that you can do. But today, mainly, we want to talk about what causes the cells to age. So now we know that there are three things that causing the cells to age: the structure itself, the function, and the environment that the cells are living in. All right, so this will be the three. And any question? Okay, maybe I answer the questions that I mentioned earlier first. How about, M-cell or NMN, right? So NMN is a product that is quite hot in the market nowadays. Many friends who wants to go anti-aging actually look for NMN. So what is this actually? Okay, so NMN is nicotinamide, and what it does, maybe don't bore you with all the words, let me just explain with you to you, right? NMN is nicotinamide. What it does is a precursor to this enzyme or this coenzyme called NAD plus. Okay, NAD plus is a coenzyme 1. It's one of the most important enzyme that helps with energy, mitochondrial energy, meaning this NAD plus, right, can help our cells mitochondria to regain energy, for it to have more energy, for it to be more active. Okay, but NAD1 is not easy. You cannot just take NAD1. The body doesn't do it this way. So you have to put in the precursor, which is NMN. Okay, so this NMN, NMN, okay, NMN mainly focusing on boosting NAD1 and focusing on mitochondrial function. Okay, does that answer your question? So if you ask me, this nicotinamide is synthetic, is synthesized, is lab made. Whereas if you compare to M-cell of course is natural. Yeah, M&F. Okay, is natural, is plant-based. Okay, and the target cellular action, right? It just boosts NAD plus, which is the coenzyme to help with um the mitochondrial health. Whereas M cell actually address all the 12 hallmarks of aging, um, addressing aging in a broad, full spectrum and holistic level, right? So if this person's main aim is just to have more energy, yes, NMN I think can help just to be more energetic. But there are some research to talk about NMN as well, because when it feeds the mitochondria of the cells, it is 无差别 feeding, meaning it doesn't differentiate what kind of cells, right? Whatever the body cells it is, it will be able to feed and help to improve the function of the mitochondria, energy of the mitochondria. So there are some discussion that, if the body has got some cancer cells, certain cells that's mutated cancer cells, would it affect that as well? Would it also give that cells a boost so that the cell continue to mutate even faster and more aggressive? That remains to be a question yet to be answered, because this is a very new product, right? NMN is also a very new product, not long in the market. So if there's family history of cancer, you might just want to be a bit more careful in looking at this product. All right. So I also did a table, of course, with the help of AI, to do this table to talk about all the 12. On the left, you see all the 12 hallmarks of aging, from the genomic instability to dysbiosis, what M cell can do, what NMN can do, what quercetin alone can do, right? So some friends actually take a quercetin supplement or resveratrol supplement, or drink red wine. No, don't drink red wine. Resveratrol and red wine, two different things, okay? But if you want to look at it, some say yes, can support, some yes, but all these other three competitors not able to address all the 12 hallmarks of aging. Only M-cell has got the ability, because of the combination, to address all the known 12 hallmarks. We don't know. Maybe 5, 10 years later, scientists can come up with another 20, modifiable factors that we can do for cellular health. But as at now, this is the number one in class. Okay, to be able to address all our concerns about aging. So if you have any questions, please ask. Meanwhile, I'm going to share with you what's upcoming. This is very important. That's upcoming tomorrow, our health coach program. This is in Mandarin. We're going to have 8 sessions, 4 in November, December, another 4 in January. All right, 8 sessions. We're going to learn all about health, from understanding blood report to how do we have a balanced diet, what do we mean by balanced diet, how to do weight management, gut health, liver health, cellular health, how do we take care and manage chronic disease, for example, the three highs, for example, gout, right? how do we manage that? And what is our healing crisis, right? Do we experience certain things while healing? How do we take note of and how do we manage that? And of course, building long-term health habits as well. So with these 8 weeks, right, you'll be able to not just learn about all the useful, healthy diet and nutrition information that you can use on yourself, you can use it on your family members as well, your loved ones, right? You can be the health coach for your family and for your loved ones as well. So if you have not, please at least take a screenshot of this, register. If you get our gut morning set, double X omega, you can actually attend for free, or you just pay the minimal school fee to attend this course. I promise you, if you attend, if you finish the 8 lessons and you find that it's not useful, I'll give you a full refund. All right. I'm sure you find it useful and it's going to change your health, and not just you, but the people around you as well. Okay. Then this is our health coach program starting tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be in Mandarin. Okay, starting tomorrow. And next Wednesday, yes, we're going to have a, okay, great. Ali is registering. All right, good. So, if you haven't registered, come and work. Let's learn together. 26, this is in Singapore. In Imperial Mall, we're going to have a run. You can choose you want to run 5 km or 15 km. Okay, and then after run, we'll come back together to do our in-body composition analysis. We have our protein shake for recovery, and there'll be some diet tips for better run. Okay, so this is our community event. Join us to run together. Next month, we're going to have our scone making. This is a hands-on baking class at Melina's place. $15 each. Come and make sweet and savory scones, plus homemade jam as well. Okay, so can just let us know if you want to register. And of course, next week, we're coming back to talk more about the science of healthy aging, right? More about M cells, more about all these 5 plants. What exactly does it do? Which part of it? What are the active ingredients, etc.? What's the research back for these active ingredients? And what else can we do in terms of our diet, our lifestyle, exercise, that all focusing on anti-aging. Okay, so let's make next year our anti-aging year or healthy aging year, so that we can all not just age gracefully, healthily, and with my sis Alison here, we also want to age beautifully, right? That's all that I have for you today. Questions?
I don't have question, but I only want to share. After I'm now at my second box of MCell,
Yes.
and I noticed that it's true. Like the my weakest part body is my lung.
Lungs,
So
okay?
I find that, yeah, I remember I talked to you, and it's hard for me. It's difficult for me to breathe
Mm.
for many weeks. I think for about 1 month, about three, almost 4 weeks. Yeah, but when I come to the second box, I feel better, a lot
Okay.
better. And then I'm on the pause already, and like uh, okay, so it did something. And then my third one is my eyesight.
Mm.
I feel I think I'm getting better. Not that I can see better, but I think because I was wearing contact lens for many years, so I just started wearing my glasses recently because I find it's too long already. So I think it addresses my all my problem, a
Okay.
bit of my eye problem. Yeah,
Yes.
it goes to the crucial part of the your disease, I think.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think our body is clever enough to know where to go. So to us, actually, it's like a
Yes.
blind box, actually. Like maybe I drink Amstel, I want to see my wrinkle going away, but actually it's my eyesight get better, etc. So the body, I think our body is clever enough to distribute it to the most crucial place to heal first. So at least you use it for 6 months, 3 to 6 months, to be able to see a more holistic change in our body, right? Because every cells, their duplications, the life cycle, it takes time, right? So at least give your body 6 months to really feel the benefit of M cell. Yeah, to really see the rejuvenation. and
Thank you.
the anti-aging effects. Yes. Yes. Thanks, Rosita, for the sharing. Yes. Does anyone else have any points that you'd like to share or any questions? Anyone coming to run with me next Wednesday? 5 km also can. Steven, Steven 在笑. Where are you? Where are you located? Are you near here?
KL,
Oh, KL.
Kuala Lumpur.
KL. Okay, KL December. I'll be in KL. We go and run, okay? Yeah. We will be, so for the health coach program, right, we'll be having some offline events as well in December, and in January, February, we're going to do some offline events as well. So let's do that together. Okay, so if there's no more questions, thank you very much for joining. Any questions or inquiry on MCell, you can check with the person who invited you in, or you can check with us as well. Liz is here, Pehan, Ellie, Hui Ying, we are all here. So check with your leaders. And thank you. I'll see you next week. Same time, same Zoom link. Share with your friends. See you. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you. Why are you laughing?